Also saw a very beautiful one, some beautiful ones, but the most beautiful I found, no one is too small to do something. No one has to do everything, but every person, every city, no matter how small you are, you can do something. If you have another beautiful message, go over there, read the other ones, and also put your message in there. Before we get started, we have another European Commissioner that would like to thank you for your participation here and hope to take your work further. Can I give a round of applause for the Executive Vice President for Cohesion and Reforms?
Dear mayors, dear city leaders, dear partners of the Cities Mission, as the Cities Mission Conference 2026 comes to a close in Torino, I would like to thank all of you for your commitment, energy and the great cooperation over the past days. This conference has shown very clearly that Europe's climate transition is being built in our cities. Through your climate city contracts, you are not just setting strategies and targets, but you are mobilizing investments, strengthening partnerships, and accelerating projects in energy, mobility, housing, resilience, and social inclusion. You are showing that cities can deliver. Your work means healthier communities, cleaner air, better mobility, greater resilience, and a better quality of life for citizens. Europe's cities are also central to our competence agenda, driving innovation, creating demand for clean technologies, attracting talent and investment, and strengthening Europe's economic resilience. This is precisely why the new EU policy agenda for cities is so important. It recognizes the central contribution of cities to deliver Europe's priorities. It also positions the city's mission as an important tool for integrated urban transformation, one that links governance, investment, and innovation in a coherent framework. We are strengthening the links and synergies between the city's mission and the EU policy agenda for cities, both at the political and practical level. We are offering a more comprehensive and coherent support to cities to address their implementation needs. We are doing this through a combination of instruments, including cohesion policy, the city's mission and Horizon Europe, the European Investment Bank, and the growing political cooperation with the Committee of the Regions and the European Parliament, ultimately building a stronger ecosystem to support cities in delivery. What also stands out from this conference is the growing strength of the mission community itself. Cities are learning from one another, testing the new approaches, building partnerships, and increasingly scaling solutions together. As we now look ahead to Malmo 2027, we must continue accelerating delivery, deepening partnerships, and ensuring that the transition remains practical, inclusive, and centered on citizens. Thank you once again to everyone involved for making this conference such a success. I wish you every success as you continue your important work in the months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vito. Well, let's hear where we are going next year. Here's the Deputy Mission Manager, Philippe François. Oh, you got groupies in the audience. That's good.
I have a few colleagues in the room.
Before we get into which city we go next year, a question to you, which is a question to all of you. It's also now in the app, if we can see it, is the question, what is something you heard this year that you hadn't heard before? Something that really surprised you?
Well, something that surprised me, I have to say, it's less something that surprised me than something that I was dreaming of, and that actually happened yesterday and today in the conference, and I would say even during the deep dives, is something that you actually mentioned during the opening session yesterday. We have really turned the page between development of the climate strategies for the cities, the famous climate city contracts, and we are now moving into implementation. And all the sessions that I attended, all the plenary sessions that I attended, all the parallel sessions that I attended, we are not talking about strategy, we are not talking about plans, but we are talking about projects. Projects that were implemented on the ground by the cities. And that's a significant departure with respect to what we had so far. Similarly, when we were talking about finances, we are not just saying we need money, and cities did not come here to say we need money. They came here to say, well, this is a type of actions that we would like to support. This is how we have presented them to financing authorities, and this is the type of financial advisory services that we require. So it's a significant departure from what we have had so far in the mission, which shows to me that we are really in the implementation of the missions. We are really into the deployment of those climate city contracts.
Wow, that's good to hear. Well, then, you got a lot of cities saying we are offering to host next year. Was it hard to make a decision?
It's always hard to make a decision. Having said that, it's not the European Song Contest. So we do receive applications every year. The mission platform, NetZeroCities, they publish a call for expression of interest. And every year we receive a number of applications from cities that are participating in the mission to come forward and say that they want to organize the event the following year. So this year, as it happens, we received a number of applications, we review them, and what I think is very important for us when we review those proposals is to look at the commitment, the engagement of the local authorities in the organization of the event. So for instance, you have seen this year with Torino, I mean, they put at our disposal this wonderful location, and I have to say from my side, I am an engineer by training. I mean, this kind of location speaks to me. I love these places. And certainly for me, it was an important point to see in the proposal of Torino that they would put at the disposal of the mission for the conference this type of location. But it's also about support that the city is ready to provide, because as you can imagine, these type of events do cost money, and we have limited resources, so it's very important for us to know that the cities that come forward with their proposals are also ready to commit to the organization of the event. So at the end of the day, we made a decision, and I was told not to reveal the name of the city, so I'm not going to reveal the name of the city, but certainly the city that was selected ticked all the boxes. And I should say, if I would need to say a little bit more about the reason why we selected the cities that will organize the event next year, is that city is actually one of the pioneering cities in Europe. It was a pioneering city even before the mission, and it's a city that is also located in a pioneering country, so we certainly have a lot to learn from the experience that this city has developed through these last few years.
Wow.
And to some extent, if I can say just to finish, we are going back to the origin of the mission when going to this conference next year.
Wow, makes me really curious. Let's see where we're going next year. Wow. And here's the Deputy Mayor of Malmö, Stefana Hoti. We're going to Malmö next year. Yeah.
Yes, finally.
What can we expect in Malmö?
In Malmö, as you saw, we can expect a lot of cold plunges. We have 186 nationalities, so a lot of mixed culture, mixed food, and a lot of, I think, progressive environmental action.
Wow, that's the best of both worlds. To officially hand over the baton, here is the Deputy Mayor of, here is the, to find the right one, the Deputy Mayor of Torino, Chiara Foglietta.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Chiara, what is some advice you would give to Malmö to say, this is something that we found, this works, this is a good...
This works, but it's so tired. We are so tired.
Come lean on me.
But we are here for help you, especially Fabrizio Barbiero. That's it. So we are here with our arms, with our heart, and also with our mind. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Chiara,
We are happy because it's the last day.
besides this being, of course, a great experience for all of us.
Enjoy it.
What do you hope, also, not only that we got out of this, but what do you hope Torino, in 5 years, people in Torino will still remember or have because of that you had a conference here? What should it do for Torino?
So we are working hard for this city because I'm a deputy mayor from at the end of the 2021. So we are working hard on ecological transition, both on environment, transport, but we have to do it for our citizens, the citizens we are honored to serve. So we try to help all the people trying to understand that this is the time to invest, this is the time to try to fight climate change, and this is the time that we have to pass through the ecological transition. We know this is difficult.
Wonderful. Tomorrow you can sleep. Monday more work.
Tomorrow I can sleep because I work still.
Okay. Well, let's do some wrap-up of the learnings we had from the 4 different tracks. We're going to do that with you, together with Fergal Denny, Gilles Badeau, and Stefana Hout, and you're already here, Annalisa Boni. Join us. Find yourself a seat. All of you, yeah, come over here. Yeah. We keep the applause going. And one question we have for all of you, and can we switch to the voting system, is what we have for everybody is something that you heard that you hadn't heard before, something that's really new this year. Annalisa Boni, you're the Deputy Mayor of Bologna. You are also part of this family for a very long time, basically since the inception. You also have groupies in the audience, very good. For you, what is something that you heard this conference that really is new or inspiring or different?
Can I reformulate the question? It's not really about herding, it's what I felt. And I think what I felt is pride, yeah, and satisfaction, and the fact that this community is really growing. If you think from when we even conceived the idea of the mission to today, I mean, what I see today, what I saw, I mean, now it's the survivors. But yesterday, it was full. I mean, it was like, you know, so we can be proud of what we've achieved, both individually, because all the Climate City contracts are, it's not a conference. Sorry, you can be tired for a conference, but what we've done with the Climate City contract, yes, it's so big, you know, so powerful, so much work, but so much results as well, individually, but also collectively as a community. So I think we can be really proud. There's nothing else, there's nowhere else in the world where this kind of community exists. Tell me where. I don't think there is something similar like this.
Okay,
but there's so much power, you know.
That's beautiful. Fergal Denny, you're the Lord Mayor of Cork. You were elected last year as mayor, but you already were in the council before. Also, yeah, for you, what is something that you take home from this conference?
Well, hard to put into one topic, really. But I think one of the things outstanding for me personally is looking at the different models that we can look at. We've 90,000 houses in Cork City, 12,000 of those are social. We rely very much on government to fund those, 175 a year at the minute, which is 50% up on last year. But to look at the different role models, we're very lucky that the European Investment Bank have funded us to employ staff. But I think we need to look at different models of how we as a local authority, maybe through private-public partnership, can progress a retrofit programme in Cork and speed it up. Otherwise, we'll be waiting until 2070 before we achieve our goals.
Yeah, drastic times not only require drastic measures, but also creative measures. Very important, yeah. Gilles Badeau, you're the Director of Public Sector Lending at the European Investment Bank. The EIB is a big partner of this project also since the inception. What is something that you take back home to the bank?
What I take from these meetings is the synergies that have been created between municipalities. You know, municipalities are very important because they are the first political layer, and this is where most of the time you've got the strongest link between the European citizen and the political power. And having a forum like this where you can exchange ideas, you can get ideas from other partners that are confronted to the same reality but within the same EU is very important. So that's what I take from this, this meeting. It's very important that we create also links between European municipalities and we exchange ideas.
Wow, beautiful. Ms. Hoti, what do you take home as a learning or insight?
What I take home with me is, and what I think we're gonna try to meet in Malmö is that we are ready. We are ready to scale up. We are ready to integrate. We are ready also for the policy changes to catch up with the cities, actually. That's what I heard in the room. So I think we're going to try to focus on policy, try to make it even more concrete on what policy changes need to happen, hopefully get to draft a couple of proposals, and why not? Hopefully in 1 year's time we'll be also ready to commit to some of them, because cities are ready, obviously. Let's make sure that the policy catches up.
Okay, that's also a lot of optimism. Ms. Foglietta, what you're keeping home as a learning?
Well, we know that we are a big family. As Annalisa said before, that is enlarging with the 4 last labeled cities, but we know that we have a big responsibility. And this big responsibility is, we wrote it in an action plan, so we know what we have to do. And we know that we have to do something for our environment, for our children, for the future, as I wrote this in the screen. But the common problem, the common issues that all the cities have is the problem about funds, about investments. So maybe we have to rethink our local investments and try to keep private sectors to try to really gain climate neutrality. So maybe we can try to think about a cost-benefits analysis and trying it with thinking something about the climate impacts on our policies.
Yeah, I think a lot of what I hear from you and what I see here is we know why we do it, we know what we have to do, just how we organize it, how we formulate it, how we fund it, and how we get it off the ground, and how we communicate it with citizens. That's where we need to be creative. That's wonderful. What we're going to do, we're going to go very quickly through the 4 tracks. We're going to see what Carlotta made out of as a summary of these 4 tracks. Then, of course, we have a very difficult dilemma left that we're going to discuss with the audience and ask you to reflect on that. And already it's time for lunch. That's how quick it goes today. This is the first track, finance. I think this might have been the most anticipated one, because this is what is on everybody's mind, is how can we find new ways for money. There is a lot coming out of it, because there are a lot of places where money could come from and a lot of ways we could get it, but just how to unlock it, that's a big question. So there are dangers here, but also there are more opportunities than you think. Can we go to the question about this? What innovative path are you going to explore to mobilize finance? So what is something new, something that you haven't done before, that you think this is a thing for finance that I would like to try out or see if there's sort of money in this? It's an open question. I'm also going to just see if I can get some very volunteers. PPPS, green bond. So the first one is going to the private sector. Who really of you show some hands? Thinks, yeah, we have to go more to there's more in the private sector than I thought before. There's more to explore in the private sector. Don't be shy, else I'm just going to pick you out as a. Then I'm just going to use you. You are the private sector. Should people be much more enthusiastic about the private sector?
Well, I think every financing structure has to take the best out of several worlds, and we have obviously grants, we have debt, we have equity, and all of this should be part of every solution, I think.
Okay, yeah, there's much more to see. Where are you going to look for more money?
The private sector, definitely.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see that not only the return of investment was important, but also the impact, so thank you for that. And also philanthropy. I didn't think they would be interested to invest more in cities.
Yeah, there is philanthropy. There's not so much, but what there is, they might be really eager to maybe give you the seed funding to go to go further. Yeah, may I ask you, where are you going to look for money?
Well, I'm not a city, but...
Ooh. Where would you advise cities to go look for money?
National government.
Sorry?
National government.
Okay, yeah, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, okay, so we see also climate funds and climate budgets. On the stage, what is something where you would say, yeah, this is really a path we as cities, or you encourage us as bank to do more? Who would like to take this? Yeah?
All right, so when the funding, just to give an example, when the funding isn't coming from government or any other place, what we did was actually crowdfund, for example, the first climate positive building in Malmö, and also show to the whole construction building sector that is possible to not be climate neutral, to actually be climate positive. So that is one way, but I don't think we get to rely on that. I think we need to find the actual business models in themselves that work and they are sustainable, and that's when we're gonna, everything else is on top of that. So the business models themselves need to change.
Yes?
I think we are looking at things a bit in a simplistic way. You know, we talk about assets to be financed and funding to be found. But I do think that we need to think about the system, as rightly said by the mayor of Malmö. I mean, we need to have to structure a bit the approach in order to make sense. And, you know, it's very important that investment decisions are very linked to financial decisions, and that we are all working together. And on my side, what I take from this meeting is that there is also a need for structuring, a need for developing governance structure where we can really do something that makes sense, because the success of the implementation of investment is not only about purchasing an asset or developing an infrastructure. It's about financing it, it's about operating it, and it's about the whole system that you construct around it. So I think that this is the most important thing that I take from this meeting, the fact that we need to have a more integrated approach. On our side at the EIB, I think that, you know, mixing advisory and lending is for them is fundamental, in fact, to bring this structuring capacity. And I do think that we need to develop these skills if we want to be successful in the implementation of investments.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah?
Yeah, I go home with this idea of PPPP, which is not about going to the restroom, but it's more about public-private, which is traditional. Then, you know, Anfossi, Alberto, he added this idea of philanthropy, but also people. So, you know, how do we connect this idea of, for instance, the climate fund that was mentioned by, was it Riga this morning? Yes, you know, where people could do projects with 10,000 euros fund and projects of that amount, but also maybe with the philanthropic input, and also how private and public can go. So I will think about that.
A little bit more. Then the big question is, are you more or less optimistic? Because I think we have calculated we need 600 billion more or less for cities to fight climate change and mitigate it. Are you more or less optimistic that we are able to do this?
Well, I'm from the city of Stockholm, and we think we can do it.
Where do you get your enthusiasm from?
Yeah, I think it has been really enthusiasming here, and a lot of new ideas. We're going to have meetings with Paris about their climate fund, see if that's something we can do.
Yeah.
And learn more from other cities. And I also talked to Umeå. We are also going to continue talking about several things. So there's a lot of things to learn from each other, and I think it's fantastic that we have so many cities that are trying to reach the goal of climate neutrality.
Okay, that's the reason for optimism. I came here, I think, a bit pessimistic, like, oh, public funds are drying up, philanthropy is getting more difficult, but I hear some optimism here. AI startups manage to get billions in a very uncertain endeavor where they never know it's going to work. The things you want to get financed are definitely going to have a positive return. Should cities be as bold or maybe as arrogant as the investors in AI and say, hey, you want a really good return on investment, come to us?
Sorry, say it again?
So should cities be as bold as OpenAI and Claude and say, do you really want to get rich? Don't invest in AI. We never know if that's going to pay off. If you want to get rich, invest in us.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's also controversial because cities have a problem of inclusivity, of course, and so if estate values go skyrocketing, that's also a problem, but it's also good for cities. So.
Perfect. Okay, let's hope we are able to unlock a lot of finances for this good business case. Let's go to the next track. We also discussed about deploying new solutions. Let's see what we got out of that one. Also, a lot came out of this. I see happily dancing climate-neutral brains with a lot of digital. I see building relationships. A lot of these. Well, also. I think this is the next one that we just saw. I think that was I think we saw the next question already. Can we see the matching question with this one? I think that should be, what innovation? Do we have it? Do we have the right one?
I think we are hungry now.
Let's see if, yeah. I have the right question now here on Mentimeter. So can we go to the Mentimeter? When we talk about implementation, which sector is your innovation champion? Because we see a lot of innovations and ideas, but where do we really see it implemented? Is it the energy sector? Is it the housing or the built environment sector? Is it the mobility sector? Or is it nature-based solutions? Where do we see the most innovation coming from the laboratory or the drawing table really into reality? And we see, number one is the energy sector. Do you recognize that the energy sector really is bringing innovations into reality? See some nodding, yeah?
I think there's another type of innovation that is not there, which should be there, which is governance. And it goes across all of them, and it's the most difficult to achieve. Because if you do innovation in governance in energy, then you can find solutions that, allow a lot of the things that we've looked at. Mobility, the same. Housing, inventing a foundation that helps citizens, whatever. Same goes with the NBS. So it's really the part of innovation that is the most difficult. So it doesn't go from research to the market, but it's also so much needed and complicated to achieve.
Yes, I see you recognize this.
Yeah, I think house built and environment, that's hugely important to us. 50% of our emissions come from our buildings. As I said earlier, 90,000 houses in Cork, and also local authority. We have 70 or 80 public municipal buildings, so retrofitting them, upgrading them to a standard hugely will bring us towards where we want to be, but there's a lot of work involved in that, obviously.
Can we innovate ourselves out of every problem that we have, or do we sometimes, is our behavior, we just have to consume a little bit less? Are you a techno-optimist, that there's an innovation for everything?
Yeah, in Cork, certainly we're developing systems that create a smart city, where we know where we're losing heat, where energy consumption is great. We've twinned with other cities in relation to that as well. So I think, yes, the technical innovation is a very important part of it, because that tells us where we need to go.
Okay, but that's beautiful. is there an innovation we're missing here still? Also, I look in the audience, if you volunteer, you may say so. Then
No, I wanted to say a few words. I quite agree on the fact that energy is number one, because we are really living a revolution in terms of energy. Energy before was produced in some spots and then transported towards the spots of consumption. Now we've got a sort of decentralized production mode with the PV panels, with the renewable energy, and it's highly complicated to manage. So, and energy is at the root of the competitiveness of tomorrow for the EU economy. So for me, it's clear that the energy sector is clearly the sector that needs the most innovation, and the role of the municipalities is key, because in fact we are delocalizing the energy production. So in fact we are going local, whereas before we had big spots of productions and we were just conveying the energy towards the consumption spots. So for me it's quite true that the energy is number one.
It's the number one, yeah. Ms. Hoti?
For me, who I would really, really want to be our innovation champion, but it's really not, it's the finance and the economic sector. Because all of these issues that we are facing, all of these other innovations that we need, is because we are existing in a faulty economic sphere that has locked us in the fossil dependency that we are in. So I think that we could need some innovation in the economics and maybe use more of a donut economics type of perspective where we don't use all the resources that we actually don't have.
But then the finance world would say, that's not how the world works. You can't bend the rules of the economy. If there is not a direct benefit somewhere monetarily, you cannot have it financed. You can't bend the financial markets.
And I will tell them that depends on what you are looking as investment and return. Do you measure it by health? Do you measure it by quality of life? Do you measure it by equality and equity? And do you measure it by welfare and innovation and technology? Still needs to improve, of course, in the stable economical system that provides all of this for us, but that money is the means, not the end goal.
And is that something we can ask of the financial world, or does the EU and member states need to set the rules for that? Pollution, we put a price on it. Taken away from our future generations, we put a price on it. Destroying communities, we put a price on it. We monetize damage, so there's also profit for making it better. Or can the financial system do this without the push from authorities?
I think listening in the earlier session was quite interesting, where the financial institutions identified the fact that, yes, they want to make a profit, but that profit isn't always monetary. Their community benefits and everything else that comes with that, I think, are important as well. And it was nice to hear that this morning, actually, and that being acknowledged. So I would go at your point, but maybe some hybrid option somewhere in the middle, combined with PPP and GoFundMe. It's the first time our crowdfund that you mentioned. I think kind of a hybrid between the financial institutions, the local authority, and the public as well, because that brings public buy-in to the processes as well. And there's been a lot of talk in the last number of days about that, citizen engagementship. That's hugely important as well, and I think that hybrid option is the solution.
Yes. Okay, and then of course we need less flip-flop politics, because then businesses can invest for the long term. Let's move to our third work stream, which is the strategic engagement. Here's the summary of Plenary 1. This is strategic engagement. Yeah, this strategic engagement. Oh, we see a lot of people coming together. We see keys, we see heat waves, we see the secrets to success, what unlocks it. A lot is collaboration in practice, and at most is trust, 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 trust is what we saw everywhere. Well, of course, that's also the question then to you is, which partner did you take on in a project, or today, a partner that you was totally unexpected as a good partner in a project, but turned out as a great partner? Also, I'm going to see if there is someone in the audience who might have a partner what was someone you brought on board first, and already the private sector? What is the unexpected partner that you brought on board in a project that was really great, or that you like to have, maybe that you would like to have? In Sarajevo, what is a partner that you work with that was unexpected, but that really helped you forward?
Organizations are actually young people. When we were organizing citizen assembly for the purposes of adopting recommendations from different groups of people from our society to actually engage their opinions and incorporate them into Climate City contract. It was lovely to work with young people and to hear their ideas and how they see the future of the climate changes of in case of Sarajevo. So that was a very
okay. Bring on the young people. What was
expected? It was expected. It was maybe the question.
It was a bit expected, yeah. But the outcome was even more positive than you thought.
It was more. The output was more unexpected than I thought, because we heard some brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
That was a very.
Yeah, we all think the youth of today is only on TikTok and all the boys are in the manosphere, but there are quite a lot of young people that give some inputs. What is some partners that you would bring on board?
Yeah, I think for me, unexpected, but in hindsight, completely not expected, completely organic and natural, was our collaboration with the World Health Organisation, Healthy Cities. And if I can give a shameless plug, we have a European Mayors Summit on Community Health on the 5th and 6th of October. We'll be making contact with everybody. But when, like in Cork, we don't believe in working in a silo. We work with everyone. We also have a saying in Cork that every day is a school day, and every day we learn. Our collaboration with the WHO, Healthy Cities, has transformed how we operate in the community. Again, going back to the point of citizen engagement and buying into the communities. If you take examples like community gardens, where social inclusion is a part of it, greening is a part of it, growing vegetables that are organic and brought home to feed families as well. There's so many benefits to that. Where you look at the walking groups, for instance, encouraging people that may not have walked for years to get out and become a part of it. And suddenly that change starts to happen. People realise, well, if I can go walking on Friday night with the girls, then I can walk to the shop instead of taking the car like I've done for the last 40 years. All these little things, promoting active travel, and so many different things that the WHO, and of course clean air, which is a huge part of it as well. So that's really worked for us in Cork, that collaboration, and the point is it's all community-based as well. So, I think one of our big problems in terms of what we're trying to achieve is to sell that message to the wider community, to our citizens, but through the WHO Healthy Cities, we do this at a very, very local, grassroots level. I think it's very important, yeah.
Yeah, is one it?
I think that the one that we haven't seen is the climate activists, actually, because there is a power of numbers and power in the people who already want to transition to already have happened, like yesterday, but there is not always channelized in the maybe right way, and it's difficult to navigate, right? So instead of just being kind of in opposition to each other, actually use the voices and use the pressure and use the sense of urgency, but help translate it to actual policy. So yeah, I think partner up with people already take to the streets to see this change happen.
Well, from my point of view, maybe the big company. Torino is a very post-industrial city. Our past related to automotive, and our biggest goal is try to share our mission with all the companies, all the local companies.
Okay, yeah, and not only cars, also trains, very important. Okay, let's move to our final workstream, which is mission impact. Now we're going from plans to implementation. Also, we're going to see, of course, much more impact. And we here see from uncertain data to credible claims, emissions monitoring and carbon removal in cities. Yeah, you can say this program is going to be great, but how are you actually going to measure it, see it, and also show your citizens the benefit of it? Well, we need precise monitoring, responsive policy design, transparent impact, territorial approach, leveraging other cities' experience, and a multi-factor linear regression. That's someone has to explain what that means to me. Okay, then the question to you is, what is impact? How would you or should you measure impact? You can divide 100 points of impact, and you can do them on happiness or well-being of your citizens, on emissions reduction, resilience and adaptation, the commitment of the citizens, business and partners, and how much they are involved and like what they do, the happiness of well-being of bees, birds and squirrels, so biodiversity, and on the impact on policies, so commitments and programs and budgets that are resilient to political change, that have a longer lifespan than the government of 4 years. Where do you like to see impact? You may put 100 points on one issue. You may also divide them over where you want to see it. The first few votes, a lot goes to the happening and well-being of citizens. I'm going to see a bit in the audience where people see the impact. When are the projects that we do successful? What in the end are you doing it for? Who should we make happy? What is impact?
What is impact? I mean, impact is everything that you're actually delivering to everything that makes your city be your city. So everything that relates to the place, everything that relates to the people, and everything that relates to all life that actually populates your local city.
A little bit of everything. Yeah, it's a wide variety. For you, what is impact?
Making a change that is positively perceived by the community that I live in.
Do they always see it? Because the big things you don't see, is it important that people recognize it?
I think it's important that they recognize it, and I think that's part of our work.
And should they feel the results, like, oh, the city is cooler now, or should they know how it is? Oh, the city is cooler because of...
We're getting into depth here. Sorry, can you repeat that one?
So should citizens only see the results, say, hey, the city is cooler and more pleasant now? Or should they attribute it to say, oh, because we planted more trees or because we did this, now I feel better?
Oh, we should definitely clarify the causal chain. Yeah.
Okay, very good. May I ask you, where did you put your money? Where do you want to see impact?
Sorry.
Okay, I'll go to...
Yeah, I'm not your man.
Okay, I'll go to you. Where do you want to see impact?
I mean, I think happiness of citizens is one of the main things. We don't do sustainability, climate neutrality because we want... The planet will stay, everything is going to be fine. It's for all of us to have nicest places to live, and cities are the best places to live, and obviously for us to be happy there. So I think that's the main measure. But yes, we measure this in CO2 emissions and stuff.
But, well, if you put happiness and well-being of citizens, oh, it's now got second emissions now came to the top. If you put citizens' happiness on top, do you make different decisions than if you put emissions reduction on top?
Yes and no. It's not, a straightforward answer. Obviously, if we can't live in the city anymore because it's too hot in summer, or it's flooded, or there is no more possibility to live there, so there is no people there. So I mean, in the end, obviously, reduction of emissions will lead to that as well as other things like adaptation, like greenery, whatnot. But still, I think. We have to think about people first, and that's where the engagement comes to in place, and that's why we do all the things, because of, we as a communities, and we feel good there.
Okay, so it's partly what you do, but it's definitely how you communicate it, how you involve people, and how you center it in your policies. Very little volunteers today, we're going to work on that. Up here, what do you consider as impact?
Well, I think emissions reduction. We aim to be carbon neutral by 2030. But if we achieve reductions in emissions, then that will lead to happiness and well-being of our citizens. Our citizens will have warmer homes, they will have less energy bills, they will have proper public transport, light rail, etc., etc. So I think happiness and well-being of our citizens will be a byproduct of our goals to be carbon neutral.
Yeah, Ms. Boney?
Yeah, if we can go back to the thing. Well, anyway, I think all the indicators are important, but I just wanted to stress the last one, which was about the commitments programs across political changes, even if it got the least numbers of votes. because it really is the indicator that the need for change, and to push the ecological transition, the just transition, and so on, has become a DNA thing. It's been embedded both in the administration and in the community. And so if this resists, it means then that we can, improve the city, that we can, make people more happy, that we can, work on adaptation, and we can blah, blah, blah. So it's really about making it so deep and part of the, history and identity and DNA of everyone that things can be actually achieved.
Beautiful.
Well, maybe the emissions reduction is a numeric indicator, so you can measure it. The other one are qualitative indicators. And then we can add the improving of quality of life of our citizens.
Okay, that's a beautiful one. I think it's time for lunch. In Torino, it's already 1 hour or 2 hours time for lunch already. So I think some people are getting hungry. Yeah, they eat really early, yeah. We are going to wrap up. Carlotta, you have been making drawings all these days. We've seen your drawings so far, but what is your conclusion of the whole 3 days? Here it is. The conclusion of our 3 days. This is the visual summary. Of course, you will get it with the pictures, with the videos. You will get Carlotta's beautiful pictures. A big round of applause for our visual note taker. All 3 days in one picture. I want to thank you so much. I'm going to ask each of you in one word, what is going to be your mission for the next year? Also, that's a question in Mentimeter for you as well. In one word, what is your mission for the next year? Don't forget to hand out your lanyard. Don't forget to go to the Duomo where you can see the pilot's missions. And don't forget to take a selfie with the green entrance, the living green entrance banner. Don't forget all those things. Take your copy of the Times. Get a message there. I think those were all the important announcements. I'm going to start at that side. Gilles Badeau, what is your mission for the next year in one word?
Continuing implementing investments that are contributing to reduction of emissions. It's a bit long.
Beautiful. Annalisa Boni.
I think bring more citizens on board.
Yeah. Fergal Denny.
Yeah, strengthen the partnerships that we already have, engage more with the citizenship, and look at the opportunities that we've heard about over the last number of days in terms of funding.
Beautiful. Chiara Foglietta.
Going to Malmo.
Oh, that's a very good message. And Stefana.
Bigger, faster, bolder. So level up. That's
beautiful.
where we're at.
As always, you ask politicians one word, you get at least 3. Yeah, beautiful. We're going to have a one round big of applause for our mayors and our banker. Thank you so much. This wraps up our conference. It was a pleasure to host you. Have a good lunch, have a good trip home, and see you next year in Malmo. Fantastic.